so many women on Goodreads are like, I thought this was a rom-com and I'm so disappointed. And it's like, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's definitely not a rom-com.
Definitely
if there's
not
something
a rom-com.
that it's
I
not,
know.
it's a rom-com.
It's like a horror story of like hetero relationships. Oh my God. Hi, my name's Emily J. Smith. I'm the author of Nothing Serious.
So we're going to kick off the lightning round. When did you first identify as a writer?
Okay, I was late to this. I think I was probably like 34 or 35. And I had started playing around with creative writing when I was like 30. And by that point, I had published a few essays. And I very distinctly remember a legitimate writer friend being like, say it out loud, say you're a writer. And that being hard, but I did it over a glass of wine. And I feel like that was a moment for me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think there's some value to coming to it late. I was like relatively late too, and I came with a bunch of stories. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's interesting to have it be whined about.
Yeah. What's your all-time favorite book?
I think I was thinking about this, and there are so many, it's hard to choose one, but I'll just say Doris Lessing's The Golden Notebook, because that really was like again, I read that later, but I was like, oh wow, this is such a masterclass in so many things. And it's one of those classics that, I haven't read a lot of the classics, but this one like really stuck with me. And I was like, God, this is so layered and so brilliant.
Layered. Okay, so I want you to like just give me the quick pitch of The Golden Notebook, because I have it and I tried to start it and I couldn't keep. So I want to know, like, what am I missing out on?
It's hard. It's hard because it's dense and it's it's historical too. There's a lot of like context about the world at that time and the politics at that time, which isn't usually my thing. And now I'm going to like flounder on the description, but it's layered in the sense that it's a woman who tracks her stories and has like multiple journals for different things. And there's like a story within the story. And it's so much about feminism and gender dynamics and heterodynamics.
Like that.
That is from so long ago, but like it's so crazily relevant. You're just like, this could be written in modern day. And you see it through these like layered stories. I don't know. I just thought it was, I was really mind blown a little bit with the book.
Okay, I'm going to give it another chance. Okay. What's your dream writing routine?
Okay. My dream writing routine is a cabin in the woods, completely by myself. I do not have to leave my house at all for anything. I go for a walk like once a day and I'm just like in my novel the whole time. And I would much rather have like 2 weeks of that and then a break than like work on it for 3 hours a day or something. Like I really like the immersive, completely alone experience.
Totally. Yeah. I'm best too when I'm like, these 3 weeks, we're going to go.
Exactly. And then you're just, because it's so cool to have your brain be spinning on that kind of all the time. And you really feel you can get deeper with it. At least, that's what I find.
Definitely. What's your real writing routine? Are you living the dream?
Well, I will say I like treated myself because I'm between jobs right now. Like I took time off when I published Nothing Serious, and I'm about to go try and get some full-time or like paying work. And before that, I'm working on my next book. So I did treat myself to like this cheap cabin I found on Craigslist, and I spent 11 days just like working on my next book. And it was a dream and I loved it. So I just got back from that. But usually it's more like a few hours in the morning with my coffee. And then I try and do at least one day on most weekends where I'm having that kind of like full experience where I'm just like, okay, this is the day I'm working on my novel.
Oh, I'm so interested. I'm planning a novel turn after I finish the second memoir, and we'll have to talk more about that when I get there.
Congrats on the book. I'm so excited for that.
Thank you. What's one piece of writing that makes you jealous you didn't write it?
I almost said this is my favorite book, but I saved it for this question because I kind of knew these in advance. But Sheila Heti's Motherhood, I love that book so much. I write a lot about the question around children and my decision pretty firmly at this point not to have kids, although I've wavered back and forth. And I just feel like she explores that subject so thoroughly and so interestingly. And I'm just like, anytime I try and write about it, I just go back to her text and I'm like, who can do it better than this? No one can do it better than this. It's so good.
So many people, I've heard so many people say that. I have it on my bookshelf. I need to crack it. Okay.
I just open it sometimes to a random page and like read a passage and I love it.
So Nothing Serious is your debut, right?
Yep.
Okay. So give us like, to set up our publishing convo, give us like the log line, the pitch of what is Nothing Serious.
Sure. Okay. So Nothing Serious, it's kind of like a darkly humorous literary fiction novel. Edie is a 35-year-old single woman. She works in tech. She worked very hard for her life to go a certain way, but it hasn't gone that way. And she finds herself single and kind of unhappy in her job and frustrated with the dating apps. And then her best friend and kind of longtime crush, who's been in a relationship for his whole life, Peter, who's kind of like a Google multimillionaire tech bro, at the start of the book is newly single. And it's the first time they're both single. And she's like, okay, finally we'll be together. All my problems will be solved. But then Peter meets this amazing woman on his first try in online dating. I find that's a very common dynamic. Like women are struggling, especially at that age, like 35 plus. And then men go on and there's just like an abundance of amazing women. And so anyway, even Edie becomes obsessed with this woman. Like she's so smart. She's this feminist professor. Edie works in tech surrounded by these bros and she's just like totally enamored by this woman. But then this woman is found dead shortly after she starts dating Peter. And Edie becomes obsessed with figuring out what happened and what did Peter have to do with this. And so it's set up a little like a mystery, but what it is more so is almost like a coming of age or a self-discovery, like through the lens of figuring out what happened in this mysterious death. She's untangling her own layers of internalized misogyny and like seeing Peter and men and her life through a different lens.
It's very good. You did the damn thing, you know? So congratulations.
Thank you.
So I talked to you before the book came out.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit of your publishing journey there, but like give us the Cliff's Notes of how you got from idea to Nothing Serious publication date.
Yeah. Okay. Again, when I was around 30, just starting to play around, I wrote a very autobiographical, like autofiction novel about a woman in tech, which is what I started in, like untangling from internalized misogyny, discovering writing, discovering femininity, discovering queerness, like all this stuff in her 30s, which was my experience. But after querying about 80 agents. And like through that process, I wrote it and rewrote it and workshopped it, like 5 years of that. I just was like, okay, agents were reading it, but they were all saying no. And primarily because it didn't have enough plot.
I was just going to ask you if that was, if like the story felt like kind of like not quite. Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I'm going to write a book with a fucking plot in it. And there's going to be a death. Like there's just going to be a death if that's what agents want. And I kind of gave myself that challenge and like bumbling around with it. And then so much of Nothing Serious is actually pulled from my actual life. And there's a guy, one of my close friends, who I had him read the draft. I'm like, you're literally 65% Peter. So like, tell me if this is okay with you. Cause like there are real scenes from our life. Yeah, I came up with this idea and then I wrote it in kind of one of those like in between careers I had just left, or in between jobs, this one job, and I had broken my foot. I couldn't walk for like many months. And so I was just like, okay, this idea has been sitting around for a while. I'm just going to write it. And I wrote it, the first draft, in 3 months. And then I got funding for this dating app that I did. So I put it away in a drawer and I was actually so ashamed that I wrote this like murder mystery. So I was like, I want to be a literary fiction girly, you know, like whatever. I was kind of embarrassed. And then how many years? 3 years went by and I didn't look at it. And then I was like done with my startup and I was like, okay, I want to start a new book project. And I read that first novel. And then I started reading Nothing Serious, which wasn't called that. It was called Crazy Single. It was like written literally when I was 35 around, and I was like rageful at the dating app. So it was very embittered. But like I saw when I reread it 3 years later, oh, okay, there's something here. And by that point in culture, we had like Killing Eve, The Undoing, White Lotus, like so many things had popped up by then where I was
Young
like,
Woman or something.
Promising Young Woman came out in that window. And I was like, oh, like really interesting art can be made that also has this suspense element. And so I started to educate myself on that and that kind of genre. And I dove back into the project and I rewrote it a lot. And then I pitched it to agents. And again, I got like 30 agent rejections. And I was almost ready to give up. I had one agent be like, you have to make the ending huge, like a big reveal. And it's kind of like a more nuanced ending, which I felt was important.
I think it makes sense with the book.
Yeah, thanks. But that was the biggest feedback from agents. And I even tried writing an ending like that. And it was so bad. Like it made the book so bad. And I was just like, I'm not a writer with those skills. Like, I don't know how to be like, aha, it was the sister the whole time or something. Anyway, thank God this one agent was like, I love the book. And then it was a pretty quick from agent to deal. It was like 3 weeks or something on submission. So, I mean, knock on wood, I could only hope that happens again. But like the agent process was really rough for me.
The editing process once you had after the deal came through, what was that?
That was pretty straightforward. I had talked to the editor in advance, and the biggest thing for me, because I had my guard up by that point, was like, oh God, is she going to want me to change the ending? Because I've tried that like with all my might and I can't do it well. And she didn't. She loved it. She loved like all the things that I loved. And she just wanted to like up certain places and like even certain things out, which I agreed with. So once, I don't know if you relate to this or if you've heard this in other interviews, but when you work on a novel for so long by yourself and you're just like in the trenches by yourself, like in circles, and you finally have someone who's like, I want to work with you to make this better. And they're like in the publishing industry. I would stay up like all night working on these edits. It was such a dream to like have an actual editor tell me how to make it better. And then I'm like, yes, sirree, I will do it. I don't know. I just trusted her. And it was like very exciting at that point to have someone who was actually invested with me. So it didn't take super long. Like we got through it.
I love that. I feel like a developmental editor that I hired gave me that kind of experience. And then there wasn't that much I did such a heavy lift with that there wasn't that much for my actual editor to do. I mean, she had maybe like 120 notes, but I was like, I'll take more.
Yeah, tell me more. Yeah.
I wonder, did you have the same experience? Like, I don't know. I was like, I felt crazy. Like, I don't think this book is ever going to feel done to me.
Yeah.
And I was very worried. I worked on it for like 3 months straight, just like I didn't do anything else except like if I had a class on the calendar, I was just like, don't talk to me, like I can't. And then finally, and it was slightly after my deadline was supposed to be, but I was like, I can't turn this in if it's not like good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I did achieve a sense of like, oh, okay, it's good. It's good enough. I'm not going to feel that. Do you relate to this feeling?
Yes. Yeah. And it's a hard thing to come to. Oh God, it's so hard. And it happens in layers, at least for me, because then you have this kind of like, then they sent it to this like fact check type person who makes sure it's all the timing and like and so then you get another round of edits for that and you're like rereading it again. Like even if I had come to terms in my developmental edit with like, okay, yes, this is where I'm at. And then I'm like rereading it a month later. I'm like, ooh, I would love to insert a little more backstory here to like even, but it's like by that point you have to really let go because you don't want to be a challenging person to work with your editor. And so I did have those moments where I'm like, I would love to like add another scene, but like that's off the table. And yeah, and it's okay.
I did, yeah, it's okay. I did when I got the like galley,
Oh yeah, right.
I
That's a
was like,
whole.
as long as I don't fuck up the formatting, I can change a sentence here. I can,
There you
I
go.
can.
Okay. And you
So
did?
yeah, and I felt
Okay.
so much better after
Good.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a whole process. I could talk to you for an hour about
I
that, but
know.
we'll talk about other
I don't
things.
know if in that can of worms, but I might next time. Yeah.
Okay, so you have friends that are writers too, and I'm curious your thoughts on, so you like this is a big five book and how you think about the experience like in terms of like having a good editor that you did not have to pay for at this stage and like the contract, like did you feel good about how that was negotiated with them? Were you able to reserve any rights? Anything you want to speak in that territory?
Just to be clear, I also did pay for a developmental editor
Previously, right? Yeah,
previously. I find they're so helpful if you can afford it.
totally.
Like, so helpful. I wish I got a bigger advance. I think my advance was like more than average for literary fiction, but that's not saying much. It was still, it was a 5-figure advance. And I spent so much time. And it's just, I think, the reality for so many writers that like, this is not like book sales, book contracts, they're never gonna pay your bills. Like that's not gonna be the thing. So maybe it was Lee Stein who said on her Substack, like think of it as a bonus, not your salary, which I think makes sense. We reserved foreign rights, but we haven't been able to sell any. The market's been really tight. At least that's what I've been told. And my agent, I love her. She's great. I would always recommend her. She was new as an agent. And so like I have some friends who have really big hitter agents, and the process, like the buzz they're able to build up for a project, you see the difference in the deal. Like that matters. And not always, like I'm sure my agent, even though she's newer, has landed some big deals. Like I don't actually know, but I'm sure she's very talented. She has, but like I've just seen firsthand, like a major agent can like make things happen.
Do you feel like it was a night and day experience relative to like what it would have been like as at a small press, or like for this type of book, can you see another viable, the publishing landscape has changed so much over the last however many years. Self-publishing is viable. There's a lot of small presses. Like, could you see an alternate path ever?
I think someone who is really good at self-promotion, which is not me, like I'm in my 40s now. I'm like not trying to put my face all over the internet and do TikToks. It's like very unnatural to how I am in the world. But my book, for example, has a lot of like catchy themes like dating and, like I tried kind of like making content around that. But it's mostly long essay. Like my medium is more like long essays, analyzing like the inequity in dating. I could see a young person self-publishing a catchy novel. And actually, I don't know if you've heard of Ali Kreisman, who, published this new book called The Raise, which has a lot of similar themes. We're both like, she founded her own tech company and this is her debut. And she ended up self-publishing after a kind of grueling process in the realm of traditional publishers that didn't work out. And she's a great example of that. Like she's an amazing self-promoter. We're doing an event together in November. Like there's so many, like I think that's an interesting contrast of a similar book. Hers is a little more thriller-esque, but that relies on self-promotion, and I think it's doing well, versus the traditional publisher for me was like, I still had to do my whole book tour. I still had to do like so much self-promotion, like place essays, place interviews. All of that is like so on you no matter what, most of the time. They get you in bookstores. I mean, I'm in like, I don't know, all the Barnes and Nobles or something. That's not nothing, and like they got me somehow on the New York Times list of like books in February coming out. Like I never would have gotten that myself. And so yeah, it certainly helps. They send out a list to all their book influencers and all this. And it's, it's, I think, kind of a mass email, like their catalog or something. So your own effort, your own individual outreach, like that's what I did spend so much time on, is like, who are the people who will like this book? And I'm going to send them personalized emails to like get it in their hands. But then the publisher, if I find someone who's like, hey, this journalist at the Cut is interested in this book, can you send it to them? They're like, yep, boom. I mean, that in itself, like, is money and time off my plate. So it helps.
Totally. We talked about your editorial process. Did you get any input on your cover?
Mm-hmm. The cover was a thing for sure.
I fucking almost lost my mind with the cover. And
so funny.
It turned out fine. I like it. But
I like your cover too.
Thank you. But like, it was a very emotional. I always thought, if I get a book deal, I'm going to be so fucking happy that I have a book deal. I don't care what's on the cover. I did not think that. And then when it was about to, then I was acting like someone was like molesting my baby. Or
totally.
Like,
No, truly. Exactly. You're like, no, that cannot happen to this book. Oh my God. So I sent like a vision board, and my editor sent her kind of vision board, like exchange Pinterest boards, whatever, for the cover. They were very aligned, very Fleabag, promising young woman, like these kinds of vibes, dark but funny. And then she sent me what they chose, and it was psychotic. It wasn't what we ended up doing. Like, all the love to HarperCollins. So grateful for them, love them. But like, this, I was like, what is this cover for? Because it's not my book. Who is this woman on the cover of it? Like, I don't know. It looked insane. So I kind of was like, hard no. Can we do something else? And then I wanted, this whole trend of like original paintings kind of like these women. And so we went in that direction. And I kind of said yes. I saw the outline of the cover we ended up with, and I was like, okay, if we can make that a little more like threatening, and I love she has curly hair. I spend my whole life in bed, so like I'm into this. I relate to this cover more. It just came out a little too cartoony. Like I wanted more edge with it, because people, I think, read it as like, oh, is this a rom-com? Or, and I'm like, it's not a rom-com. It's not a traditional mystery. Like, it's a little more edgy.
Yeah, it's maybe sexier than, edgy's a good word, than it might appear, or like I was anticipating going in. But delightful surprise.
Thanks. Yeah. But it's like, I want people to pick it up who want something edgy, not who wants, like, so many women on Goodreads are like, I thought this was a rom-com and I'm so disappointed. And it's like, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's definitely not a rom-com.
Definitely
there's
not a rom-com.
That it's not, it's a rom-com.
It's like a horror story of like hetero relationships. Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, but it worked out. You got close.
It was fine. Then I guess you've gone like, as soon as I got the package of the book, I was like, oh, I just love it. I love it. Like, I relate to this woman on the cover. Like, it's cool looking image. I just immediately, it's like when your child is born and then you're just like, I love it no matter what.
Yeah, whatever it looks like. Yeah.
I also, just for the record, had a similar experience with the audiobook, where I got to choose from a short list of like who could narrate. And there were really good narrators on there. I was like excited. I got my second pick. But I didn't hear them read my book. I heard them read excerpts of their past work.
I thought your narrator was very good. I listened.
Oh, really? Okay. That's helpful. And again, she's a really talented narrator. So this is nothing against her. But when I started to try and listen, and I'll be curious like how this goes for you, I couldn't. I had to turn it off right away. Yeah.
I think you're too close.
Yeah, that's what I think too. That's why it's like all these things, you spend so much time on the text that like as soon as another form enters the fray that you don't have full control over, you're like, this is not correct. This is not. Yeah.
Did you have any desire to narrate?
It didn't even cross my mind, because I thought for fiction that would not be a possibility. But I kind of do. Like, I think I'm probably being very big-headed or something, thinking I could do that. But if I sell my next book, I'll at least pose the question. Like, I am curious.
For sure.
Yeah. Did you do it for yours?
I reserved my audio rights. Okay, this is a whole thing. I think if you know how to produce audio, like maintaining your audio rights is probably the best way to make money off of your book. This is my hypothesis. I don't know. It's probably different for a book, Big Five book too, but actually it'd probably be even better for the author with a Big Five book. Yeah, so I'm doing my own thing, and it was another thing of like, I'm not gonna let somebody.
Yeah.
So
on the realm of rights, like we also reserved film and TV rights, and I did get a film agent, which I'm very happy about and grateful for, and she's great. And we have had like one major meeting, which was like the best hour and a half of my life because they were so complimentary, but it didn't go anywhere. But like, yeah, that is a real dream to have like something happen with film.
Yeah, those are good rights. If you feel like you can, and you know, you're at Trident, and then if with the additional agent too, it's like, that's great to have a team that's able to exploit them. In my case, even though it was small press, I was like, I'm keeping these. I already wrote the pilot. I've been working in LA. Like, there's no way the small press is going to be able to exploit the rights better than I will. And I also my pilot is different enough that it's like I could exploit both rights. So I just was like,
oh my gosh, so smart. So smart. I wrote like this outline for a mini. The issue we had with the producers was like, we both agreed it should be a limited series because of the nature of the plot. And they were like, no one's investing in limited series anymore unless it like stars Nicole Kidman or Reese Witherspoon because they're not a sustainable model. Like, it's so much money. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, should I try and write a screenplay for a movie or a pilot? I don't know.
Yes, you could. And what I've heard is like the cheat to that is like if you know, whatever your next book is, if it's like a similar theme, you say like that's season 2, you know, like
I was going to ask my agent about that because like I have this issue where I have to like write from essentially the main character being my own point of view. And so it is kind of sequential in that way. Like this next book is the next chapter of my life in this extremely distorted. Yeah. Like it's not Edie, but it might as well be.
Right.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Think about that. Okay. One more thing about the agent Big Five situation. Were there any moments that you were like, felt the power dynamic or were like, really felt you had to advocate for yourself? You talked about the cover, but was there anything else?
You know, I didn't get any of my book tour paid for. Like that was all out of pocket. And I did do a book tour because I really wanted to. Like I've never gotten married. I've never had a kid. Like I wanted to like see my people and have this be a celebration. And I wish there was a little more support for at least like the book is based in San Francisco. I have a big network in San Francisco. Like that was a very solid event. Like if they could have just given like one night of hotel room budget, like just, I don't know. I was pretty surprised that like nothing was put into book tour. Yeah, I don't think there was too much. The cover, I kind of wanted, I sent my agent this like hysterical email about the cover when it was like really about to be like finalized. And she was kind of like, it's okay, Emily. Like, it's okay. It's all fine. Like, it's great. It's a great cover. And I kind of wish we would have went back and forth a little more, but I think she understood that the editor was like at the end of her rope.
Yeah.
And like didn't want to threaten that relationship. So,
yeah.
And also, I guess I wish we pushed a little more on the advance, but at that point, you know, 8 years into trying to sell a novel or whatever, I get an offer from William Morrow at HarperCollins. I'm like, I'll take it.
Totally.
You know, and what leverage do you really have? So,
and I've heard sometimes smaller advances can be a blessing in that you can earn out and then they'll buy your next book.
That's true. I have heard that, and I have talked to people who have had very large advances who then got almost the rug pulled under from them because they didn't get any support on publication. The winds changed, something happened, They didn't sell any copies. And now they were essentially dropped by, like the chances of getting a second book are so small versus like my expectations were pretty low for better or worse. And so, I mean, I don't know if I'll sell my next book, but I think my editor is genuinely like excited to read it. So
yeah, that's great. So you had other writer friends. Did you know, like, what did you feel about your platform going into that? Was that something that you even thought about? How did you think about your own side of promoting the book?
yeah, definitely thought about platform, even though, like I said, I hate social media, but like so many of us hate social media. I heard and followed this rule where it's like pick one or two platforms and focus on them. So like I invested in Substack because the form I like is like essays and long form content. And so I've grown that over, the 18 months or whatever since I like really started trying to promote the book, which was about 6 months before publication. So I guess it's been about a year. And Instagram, I do kind of like the minimum for Instagram. I do like the posts about book events. For a while, I forced myself to post like once a week, but I'm not doing like the reels and the videos the way you should. And I think you just have to find the line for yourself where it's like, don't make yourself crazy. Because I would spend like, I just remember a turning point where I like spent 3 or 4 hours on a stupid reel and then it got like 25 likes or something horrific. And I was just like, this is not the best use of my time.
Totally.
So yeah.
Your Substack's going great. Like, I feel like
Thanks.
this was a good strategy for you, right?
Yeah, the Substack has been the better avenue for me. And I experimented with TikTok. Like I put one video about like decentering men or something that actually got some traction, but I didn't follow it up because I just don't like being on camera so much. Anyway, I'm just constantly trying, and it'll be a continuous journey as I like move forward with my next book of like, what do I feel comfortable with?
Yeah. Did you hire, so there was, I'm sure, an in-house publicist. Did you hire another publicist? Did you run any sort of pre-order campaign? And then what were your biggest like PR wins?
Yeah, I hired a publicist for a very limited scope, specifically to try and secure an event and press on the West Coast because it's a San Francisco based book. And I really wanted to do an event at Skylight Books in LA because this guy I used to date lives around there and I really wanted to like have an event.
That's so petty and hilarious.
That's his local bookstore. So like there is no way on earth that I could afford like 10 grand a month for the publicist that what people pay. But I think I spent like 1,800, like I think it was like $700 a month for like 2.5 months or something for a very limited scope before the launch. And she helped me get a review in the SF Chronicle, which was great because it's so rare to get reviews these days. And that's like where the book was set. And she did help me secure the launch at Skylight Books. So that was, and that was basically huge win for my ego. Like, was it worth, almost $2,000? I don't know. Probably not. Like I should really get a grip. But the SF Chronicle piece was good. But so, I mean, no, these PR people cost like literally 10 grand a month and it's crazy and you have no guarantee. And I've already spent so much money via my time writing this book. It's like, with what money am I paying a PR person to, I mean, if you get like a $250,000 advance, I could see putting some of that into a legit PR person, but no, I didn't have the means to do that at all.
So was the SF Chronicle, was that like your biggest PR win that you manufactured for yourself?
That was a big one. The New York Times was probably the biggest one.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. And then I did a lot of outreach to like micro influencers, I guess you would call them, or even celebrities, like also, or journalists who write about dating and stuff. And one of the people I reached out to, because I love his Substack, is Josh Laura, who writes Tell the Bees. Do you know him?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I've heard of him, yeah.
And so he promoted my book and did this not because I asked him to, like he read it and just did this TikTok about it and about dating, the state of dating in general. And that was really viral. So I really appreciated that. Like there are these little things sometimes that happen via this outreach that you never know, because there are so many other journalists I sent the book to, and then like nothing happens and you just have to accept that. Like even one was like, I loved this book, there should be a movie. But then I'm like, okay, well, you didn't write about it.
Just about it. Yeah.
Yeah, or even like anything. It's all a crapshoot. Like it really depends.
Yeah.
But
did you do a pre-order campaign?
No, I didn't formally, but I did send like mass emails to all my contacts and post about it for like months leading up to the thing. I didn't do like a promote a discount code or do like a signed copy or something in advance. But I posted about it like continuously for a while.
Okay, I would love to get your like insights on just kind of more broadly, like, you know, you've been at this for 10 years or whatever, the current state of publishing, how things have changed, how things like Substack and AI and all these other things are becoming part of the conversation, however you want to answer that.
You know, I wasn't really in the loop 10 years ago. I was like from the outside, like trying to get in. So I don't really know, but my feeling is like so much in the world, the distance between these small like backlist books and the big deals is like increasingly large. And so I do think a lot of these smaller deals like mine, it's like amazing, but it's like up to you to make that happen. You're getting like a ticket to entry, but you're not really getting any resources, which is amazing to have a ticket to entry. And you do get editing resources, which is fantastic. But then you see these like big deals that are the main event for the publisher. And like, those are the books that are on all the shelves. Like those are, and so I do think if it feels like that is growing as authors and everyone becomes more like celebrity-esque because of social media and all these things. I don't know if like getting a book deal is harder or easier now than it was, but I do think, I don't know, it seems like things need to be more like genre leaning or something. Like it obviously helped when I added like a mysterious death in my book. So, and maybe you could speak to this more, but like I would imagine smaller publishers are having a harder time staying alive. So that's like an element. Yeah, I don't know. The dichotomy seems more major.
Is there anything you would do differently next time?
Yeah, I should really think about this. I am really glad I did a book tour. I would definitely still do that. And a big launch event. I don't know that I would pay for an external publicist, and I would probably try and force myself to do more like video content or something like that a little bit more. All you can do is like put yourself out there, and then so much is up to chance. So I still wouldn't kill myself over it.
Okay, so what is next for you?
Yeah, so I'm working on this next book, which is similarly has like suspense elements, but is a literary fiction book about this next stage of my life, which is this kind of triangle between my current partner, his ex-wife, and the co-parenting of the child. And it's not fully, like, it really goes zany and like is not at all based on my life after a certain point, just that like setting. And then like her influence and the dynamics amongst the three and how that goes like kind of awry. So
ooh, fun. Can't wait to read it. What are your bucket list writing goals?
I really want to write a book that eventually becomes some form of television, film, or something.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Me too. What's one piece of writing advice you wish you could give your former self?
Definitely just keep going. Like that's the main thing. But also like don't poo-poo plot. Like don't think you're above plot. It helps to keep a story moving and keep readers interested.
Totally. You don't have to break all the rules.
Yeah, exactly. Like follow some rules.
What's one tip for writers trying to get a book published?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Keep going. Like there's so much rejection. If you get rejected like 50 times,
congratulations, you're just
yeah, exactly.
started.
That's normal. We're all doing that. And listen to what agents are saying. Like, don't think they don't get it. Allow yourself some compromise between like what the market wants and what you want. It helps to get a foot in the door.
That's good advice. What's your all-time favorite piece of your own writing?
Well, I should say my novel, Nothing
Yeah,
Serious,
nothing
for
serious.
sure. Yeah.
And tell people how they like, what's your Substack called? Where can they find you on the internet?
Yeah, the Substack is called Unresolving, and you can find me MJ Smith, so EMJ Smith on Instagram or Threads. You can look me up on Substack, Emily J. Smith. There's so many Emily Smiths that I use my middle initial. But yes, Substack is where I mostly am these days.
Thank you so much for chatting with me for the
thanks,
second
Courtney.
time.
No, this was great. I love it.
We'll
Thanks.
have to keep up this as you
Yeah,
continue your publishing
absolutely.
career.
Anytime.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Bleeders. This is a video episode, so you can listen to it on the podcast feed or you can watch it on YouTube. Just search The Bleeders podcast on YouTube or click the link in the episode description. If you want to support the show and level up your own creative practice, check out my upcoming classes and workshops for writers by going to CourtneyKosak.com/teaching. I love helping writers with their craft and career. I am also teaching a year-long memoir incubator starting in September. If you want me to Sherpa you through your process, apply now. And of course, my debut memoir, Girl Gone Wild, is out now. I would love it if you ordered a copy. It really, really helps. I've also got links for that in the episode description. Rate, review, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, happy bleeding.